In an otherwise unremarkable hangar at the sprawling Peenemünde Proving Grounds complex, a rather unusual team has been assembled. Mechanics and pilots, looking at home among the debris that collects in any airbase, next to engineers in more fashionable suits, some high-ranking military officers, and, the most out of place of them all, a small number of scientists in their white lab coats, with expressions between anxious and bemused amid the chaos. Soon, the task given to this diverse group explains its odd composition. New top-secret airbases are being built across the Atlantic, from St. Helena all the way north to the icy reaches of Greenland. The same is happening in the Pacific region. The task ahead is nothing but revolutionary: to design a long-range heavy airframe that will be capable of carrying an unheard-of bomb load. But the regular bomb racks for 500 and 1,000 kilogram payloads hide a secret. They are to be removable and to be replaced with a special mount for a single, extremely heavy bomb. With carefully chosen words, the scientists explain that this new bomb they're working on will be capable of leveling whole cities and engulfing them in hellfire never seen before on Earth. The pilots are clearly uncomfortable with this idea, but the potential target for the secret weapon is in the name of the project: Amerika Bomber. Several nuclear reactors have already been constructed in Germany, and we are just waiting for the respective research to figure out how to use this in an actual bomb. And yes, we will need a plane for delivery options from forward bases along the Atlantic and Pacific. And it looks like this is still under Portuguese occupation, interestingly enough, but it looks like friendly troops are already landing there, so that's hopefully not going to be a case anymore for much longer. How about the Cape Verde Islands here? Can I see that? Also still under Portuguese occupation, so we might give the Marines something to do. Other than that, in the Central Americas, Allied troops are suffering from a split of command. Despite the fact that there's a large number of them stationed in Mexico, they can't really decide on a unified front line. Sections of the front lines are completely overloaded with troops, whereas other sections are completely empty. And the Americans are, now that Canada is defeated, bringing more troops south in order to close out this foothold of the Reichspakt in Central America, and obviously Colombia, which is member of the Reichspakt, might be next. So the defense in South America might be something else that once again the friendly troops are going to have to deal with, but not Germany. Germany is going to focus inwards. And we are getting close to. We're still a little bit away from it, restoring the civilian administration. One other thing that I wanted to do was was constructing victory arches, which would allow us to slowly start demobilizing, because we're still below the division limit. But I was thinking of going down from partial mobilization to early or to civilian, in order to, get the economy back on track for sort of peacetime. But we will see how that goes. There are a couple of decisions available. We've done all the fates. I think, we don't need any more troop surges. We're working towards clearing that. So I might throw the victory arches in there just to make that just in the middle. And other than that, we've just got a couple of industrial projects, but that's pretty much it. Yes, for the Amerika Bomber, we are going to need the advanced large airframe, so that is coming in. And we've got the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 256 coming up. With some improved intelligence between Washington and Atlanta, courtesy of Agent Talwar and Agent Schmidt, I think we can start some infiltration. So let's begin by infiltrating the civilian administration in the Americas to get a better idea of what is actually going on there. And I think I've got, who do I have? Giscus, he's free. And we've got we have got Polyakova, Agent Polyakova is free as well. And I can't free up the slot of that Agent Leboeuf is currently occupying because she is lost. And we will see if that eventually resolves itself. But it looks like the Americans are being pushed back actually in the south quite successfully, whereas in the north the friendly troops are not really making any headway. Another naval invasion in Cuba. And Cuba is still sort of holding out, but again, we're not committing any German troops for that. Sonderkraftfahrzeug 256 is complete, which means we can now. We've got some more infantry research that we could do. I think, but advanced centrimetric radar sounds like something that we should be doing. So let's get that underway as well. And we still have a very large number of available manpower, which is slowly going down due to the relaxed conscription laws. Okay, the modern heavy hull is complete. So I think the modern destroyer hull is next. Unless there's something we actually need on the modules for that relatively quickly. Yes, we're going to need the advanced heavy batteries. So let's get that researched, and then we can see if we can outfit. Modern cruiser hull is almost done as well, and we can see if we can outfit a new heavy ship and start construction of a new main battle line. And the modern cruiser hull is done as well, so we can finish up. We've still got the improved dual purpose ones to do, and then the improved cruiser guns before we can get modern designs there as well. So more stuff still to do there. I've got the 3rd Schlachtgeschwader actually hunting submarines. There are a fair amount of enemy submarines underway that we're dealing with. 3rd Schlachtgeschwader is on strike force in the region, and I think given our overall fuel situation, we can actually reduce the amount of oil we're trading. So Azerbaijan, I think the other Azerbaijan oil trade can be probably cut a little bit down. And we will see if we catch anything except American submarines, but we're working on the convoy escort efficiency by still mass producing frigates at this point. An American battle group has been spotted in the Mid-Atlantic Gap under General Robinson. We've got a light cruiser and a bunch of destroyers, which were hunting our submarines. But Radar's task force is coming in, and we will see how that will go for them. Probably not very well. So the American destroyers and convoys are getting destroyed very rapidly before the carriers can even launch. Their flights. Although the light cruiser has been taken down by a Focke-Wulf 8 ATT, and that just leaves, I think, 2 destroyers. And with that, I think we have dealt a significant blow to American forays into the Mid-Atlantic area from our new forward base in the Azores. So that's already been successful, and any kind of American convoys that make their way through is regretting it. And we have the area under lock by the escort fleets. So that should be all right. Nothing really happened on the ground. I think a small foray by a Mexican group has been pushed back, and the Americans are not actually advancing into Mexico much further. So seems to be a bit of a stalemate at this point, but we will see how that will turn out. Elections were held in Germany. We are a constitutional monarchy after all, and the Reichstagswahl of 1944. New elections are held in Germany every 5 years to elect all 445 members of the Reichstag. Now that the Second Weltkrieg has passed, the country can once again return to peacetime politics. Debates about taxation, social services, education, and ethnic policies that were so frequent before the Black Monday incident. The changes to our country since 1936 will also certainly reflect in what parties even have a chance to win the election. Well, with a comfortable popularity majority of 58%, the Deutschnationale Einheitsfront, the German National Unity Front, is the clear winner, and the next election will be in 5 years. And paternal autocrats and national populists will join the coalition, despite the fact that the DNEF should be able to actually run by itself. But with these two joining, the opposition parties are social liberals, social democrats, and market liberals are really just very small minority for the looks of it. 5% base stability, we'll take it, and we are, our war support is continuously dwindling still. So although slowly the stop of the influx of combat casualties is starting to make itself felt as well. Recruitment of collaborators in France and England is complete, and we've got a few more things to do before we can restore the civilian administration. But for now, I'm going to construct victory arches in order to not let the sentiment of victory go to waste, and we'll get that done. Meanwhile, the Americans are planning an invasion of Greenland. It seems that our secret base has been detected, so there's no longer a need for secrecy. We are relocating some of General Fuchs's mountain troops into Greenland to defend from any American incursion. And it looks like Canada has become the Socialist Commonwealth of Canada and has been released by the Union of Socialist American States, which is an interesting decision. I thought they would actually be occupying the state, but both of them are not together in a faction. So it seems that the Americans are running a campaign of totalist world revolution, and are trying to create states in their image around the world. Well, we will see where that leads eventually. Okay, we've got the improved depth charge mortar done, which means modern lightship hull can be next, and we may be able to somewhat improve the anti-submarine destroyer that we are using. Currently, the V170 class of Imperial destroyers, we might be able to build a somewhat better ship here. Let's have a quick look. So if we could wait for modern destroyers also to become available as escorts, but I think what's the price? 1,173. What if we built on a slightly more modern hull? Let's just have a look what the difference would be here if we are putting more depth charges in, and I think a single dual-purpose main battery, as well as sonar goes here, as well as an S-Gerät. That would end up 1,500. That's not such a difference, and I think with that we can use. I think we can create a slightly improved convoy escort, and I think with that we're going to call that the Lux class of convoy escort. And yes, they should be using the convoy escort. Okay, so 25, and they are going to be using Blumenfoss. Okay, and with that, if we compare that to the, I'm going to have to find it, the V170 class, that is a significantly improved firepower from the depth charges, a lower fuel usage, which is also good, and pretty much the same submarine detection. So I think we'll save that, and we will be building these instead of the V170s next. Spain has claimed has claimed the region of Galicia, and since we're not using the port at La Coruña, I think that is something that we can let them have. So the rest of Portugal will remain under German control for operating especially the port out of Lisbon, and but the Spanish can have the northern region if they so desire, and deal with the local uprisings themselves, because they have been causing us quite a few problems. In the Second Weltkrieg, we lost many and killed even more. Our sacrifices will be honored, and our enemies will be humiliated with the construction of victory arches throughout the empire. Standing before plaques and pedestals, we may then move on from our post-war fervor for good and think about the future. That has been completed, so we can now, I think, start demobilizing some troops. And there are a few things that we need to look into. One of them being the Schleicher Constitution, and that will rename a few things and give us a few benefits, and then lead to solidifying the rest of the revolution in Germany. But before we do that, I think what we're going to be doing is to restore the civil administration in England and in France. Let's begin by establishing local police forces and get that underway. The mounted troops have landed in Greenland on the safe side and are now moving towards Nuuk, whereas a loyal division of Bulgarian troops is already on site to defend against potential invasions. And the Americans are fighting the Allied troops to a standstill here, with some incursions back and forth. But so far, no major victories on each side. However, we have heard rumors of actually, no, it's gone again. There were rumors briefly of a naval invasion in Yucatan, but they seem to have given up on that idea. With the increasing influence of the socialist world revolution, syndicalism, deemed dead, has made a resurgence in Venezuela, which is an interesting development. But we shall see what kind of impact that has on the war in the Americas. The American troops are making some inroads, and the first divisions are getting close to Mexico City. So the disorganization of Allied troops in Mexico is clearly starting to show, and American advances are rapid at this point, despite the relatively heavy defense that is still available. The Union of Socialist American States has declared war on New England, so it looks like New England has been neutral in the war so far. It looks like while the Mexican front is somewhat has been somewhat stable, but and our troops have been able to hold back the Americans. They have been developing a new plan to retake New England, and we will see how that is going to play out. And definitely rapid border conflicts happening already. But Germany is, in the meantime, going to reduce from partial mobilization to early mobilization. And I'm not sure if that is going to reduce the number of troops that we have available. American planes clearly very active over New England, and we will see if New England can hold them back. What do they have available in terms of troops? We know very little, but they have a good number of divisions, so it's entirely possible that they might be able to hold back the Americans eventually. And we will see how that impacts the Mexican front, where so far they have not managed to take Mexico City. There are protests now against the occupation. The ever-constant news of violent outbreaks, hunger, malnutrition and poverty in the Western occupation zones, alongside the mounting cost, have spiraled a protest back home. Hundreds of citizens gathered in Berlin, demanding our withdrawal and the establishment of local civilian governments. No violence was reported, but the news on the West protest without abate. Understandably, this is not helping the occupation's unpopularity back home. Perhaps we should start searching for ways to withdraw. We are actually searching for ways to withdraw, and the war support is rapidly declining. And with that, we are definitely in a race now to get towards establishing the civilian. Where was it? All the way down here. Establishing the civilian administration and making an end to the military occupation that's currently led by von Bock in France and von Falkenhorst in England. In a major development, new English troops have taken New York City. This is a major blow to the prestige of the USAS and shows that the new government is not quite as in control as it wanted to be. And Canada is, by the looks of it, also being invaded now by New England troops, which is quite fascinating that it could be that the USAS have, bitten off more than they could chew, and without completing the Mexican front, started a second war against the New England states in the north. Okay, so the Victory Arch decisions is actually not what I want, because this will effectively disband 10% of all divisions, and I would like to choose which ones get disbanded here, thank you very much, and it will add as a single civilian factory. Okay, so that's not something we're going to do. Instead, I'm probably going to be starting to disband some of the infantry divisions. So, for example, Erwin von Witzleben's General von Witzleben's divisions that are standing by on the southern border. Given the peace and support we have enjoyed from the Austrians, is going to be removed, and some of the other armies are going to be modernized in that we will probably have a much smaller but much more professional force overall. The expeditionary forces, mostly from the Netherlands, that have been fighting under Paulus so successfully in Africa, are going to be returned home as well, and the Mittelafrika Wehrbezirkskommando divisions, the same. They have all fought valiantly and will be returned to their respective governments. Let's see what else we got. We do have von Kleist's First Army, which is currently stationed in Spain and is probably going to be, it's probably too large in order to be completely turned into Panzergrenadier divisions. We've got von Manstein's troops, which are stationed in Ukraine, and I think also these experienced divisions can, at this point, probably move. We might leave them. We've got Paulus's assault divisions, assault infantry divisions, which are relatively respectable and have been fighting very well. We obviously have Halder's special forces, and we've got Model's assault infantry, which is a relatively glorious group of troops. We've got Fuchs's mountain infantry, and we have the Guderian's, von Mackenson's, and Weber's troops, which I think mostly can be consolidated. So von Mackenson's Panzergrenadier divisions are going to be handed over to Guderian, and I think the rest of von Mackenson's troops will be can move over to General Weber, and von Mackensen himself move into much deserved retirement. We've got 6 tank divisions, so the rest of them can be converted into Panzergrenadier Division. And I think we are a little short on mechanized equipment, but that will eventually sort itself out. And then we've got 2 relatively modern armies under Guderian and Hermann Weber, and we've got a few other miscellaneous troops that we can send into various theaters if necessary. We still have the Afrika Expedition under under Höppner. These troops have all returned to their respective homeland. So we've got the Polish troops back in Warsaw, and we've got the Bulgarian troops back in Sofia. So all of these divisions can return to their homes. They have fought valiantly for the German Empire and the Reichspakt, and they will not be forgotten. So all in all, these troops are all returned home, and that reduces the overall. It's going to take a while until this ticks over, but that should reduce us 150 divisions out of 230. That is a good number, and I think we can now start gradually modernizing these troops more and more as we go. How's the situation in the Americas? Still relatively tight. But some of the counterattacks appear to be working. In New England, New York is still under New England's occupation, but the Canadians have made a crossing of the river north of Montreal. So we will see if the Canadians can. It looks like the Canadians can turn the tide without too much trouble here. Advanced heavy batteries are completed. We'll look at that in a second, and. We've got the production cost or factory output, cohesion fund support. I think that's the better choice here. We should have. We haven't done this yet, right? We should have the option of. I think it's creating the regulation system, and that should help us invite new members to the Middle Europa system. I will look into that a little bit later after the political situation in Europe has been calmed down. Advanced heavy batteries are done. These, I think, are 406 millimeter. 460 millimeter SKL 50s. So 50 caliber length, 460 millimeter caliber, or I think about 18 and a cookie inches. And that means we just have the advanced dual-purpose battery to finish, and then we can design a new battleship. In the meantime, we can go through some of the improvements here, which are going to improve the guns overall. And so far, no new naval invasions, and Cuba is actually managing to push the Americans back somewhat. Although the early gains have rapidly been lost again. And New England is rapidly falling apart now. It looks like Canada joining actually has possibly broken their back in the north. And early successes, New York City has been retaken. Early successes against the USAS, embarrassing as they are, were not successful. The Trans-Amur Republic has declared war on Siberia. There are Austro-Hungarian troops in the area. They should be able to hold this themselves. Although I am actually not sure why the Austrians are in the area. We might have to send some divisions over for punishment here. How does we have supply in the area, so let's have a look. Who can we send on a Strafexpedition? We might. This is relatively mountainous terrain. Who could we send? We could send Paulus's troops. They're experienced in Africa, because I've got them, most of the mountain divisions over in Greenland at this point. Yeah, why not? Paulus returns to East Asia, and we are going to take the Trans-Amur Republic and recapture Vladivostok for the state of Siberia. Let's move the troops over. But do we have an airport in the region? We do. They are relatively minor though, but we can probably send some airplanes over. What's the air situation over the Trans-Amur Republic? There is no air situation, so I think we have a fair amount of tactical bomber wings available. So let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them transferred over to Bladoveshchensk, and they will be on close air support over the Trans-Amur Republic. All right. I'm surprised that they actually decided to go to war. I'm not sure what the Austrians are going to be doing, but we will be seeing, and German military requests manpower for garrisons. Yes, they are. They need 32,000 men to maintain their the local garrisons. That is unfortunate. So once again, German soldiers have to move into foreign territories, and the French is even worse. Almost 200,000 troops, and we are not. No, we don't need anybody else to join. We can let Siberia handle that. It should not be too much of a problem. Again, I'm not sure what the Austrians are doing here, but we are going to send Paulus over, and the German troops are going to handle this themselves, just to make sure that Japan doesn't get any kind of colonial ambitions in the area, and Russia certainly doesn't have anything to do there either. So we will be handling that ourselves. Surprised that the Trans-Amur Republic is having these delusions of grandeur, but it won't last long. And the Americans are... Oh yeah, Australia has been attacked by, under attack by Reichspakt troops as well, and Sydney has actually fallen to an invasion from the Kingdom of Hawaii. Has successfully sent a light cruiser and destroyer squadron, and with a vast surprise has landed in Sydney, Australia. So the Australasian situation is dire as well. With Reichspakt troops across the Pacific now invading the areas, and Trans-Amur is making inroads here into Siberia, but I think Paulus's troops should be more than enough to deal with that. So we shall see, and it looks like it looks like North New England is rapidly collapsing under the combined onslaught of the Canadians and the USAS as well. So not much happening there. Well, that brings us to the first war again, the first minor conflict that where the German Empire has to prove itself, and where we have to have the planes arrived by now. Few planes up in the air, but it's very minor. We don't really need to worry about it too much. We can probably send a couple of heavy fighters over, but we'll wait for Paulus's troops to make their way there, and then we will be dealing with that. They are still making their way through by rail through the Russian Republic, so it's going to be a bit until they're there. But Siberia is nothing but vast. And the Trans-Amur Republic, in delusions of grandeur, has now declared war on Formosa as well. Let's have a brief look at what do we know about. They might have a fair number of divisions, so maybe it is prudent to send a few more capable assault divisions. We might send. We've got Paulus's 11, so we might send a few of Modal's infantry divisions along as well. So let's make that 18 divisions. That should be sufficient. Establishment of local police forces is done, and with that we move on towards local elections in the occupied territories. So that should hopefully deal with things relatively quickly as well. Still waiting for troops to arrive in the east. The Allies are rapidly joining as well, so we should be seeing some. Friendly troops there relatively soon. It might be prudent to actually keep Paulus stationed in Asia permanently, just in case for somebody larger than the Trans-Amur Republic, let's say the Chinese, get any funny ideas, and they could rush through Siberia very rapidly. So let's re-establish Vladivostok as a base, and from there on out There we can station Friedrich Paulus to support German East Asia, which is currently committed in Australia. China is racking up successes. Hunan has capitulated, and with that, the Qing government is unstoppably moving west and trying to regain control over all of China. The Trans-Amur Republic has declared war on Algeria, and the fate of the Japanese imperial family is happening. Following the regime change in the former Empire of Japan, the fate of the Yamato imperial family became uncertain until yesterday. With the conclusion of the special Diet session of the State of Japan, it has been decided that the emperor, as the symbol of the state and the Japanese people, and in wider sense the imperial family, could carry out public and official duties, but not have any role in the new government. To emphasize this, in an extraordinary radio speech, Emperor Hirohito publicly renounced his own divinity, stressing that the ties between the throne and the people have always stood upon mutual trust and affection, not upon mere myth or legends. That is a good step towards a more modern Japan, and it looks like Japan is rapidly developing armored divisions. That is something that they do, but we have to, in the northern front where there is some unrest, we actually have to upgrade the airbase in Amur, which is slightly towards the rear. Hopefully the troops can arrive before the airbases fall, which would be mildly unfortunate. The Trans-Amur troops are advancing into Siberia. And Boston has fallen, so over on the, I think New England has been overrun relatively quickly, and with that, the USAS is about to restore the old American homeland and have yet another piece of consolidation on the American continent. While their war in Mexico has somewhat stalled. Mexico City is under threat, but it looks like the front lines after initial American gains have stabilized, and the front lines in the east are stable as well. And with the arrival of the 42nd Infantry Division, rapidly followed by the 924th, the German troops are once again, in June 1944, engaged in combat on foreign lands. But the ambitions of the local warlord in the Trans-Amur Republic towards a greater Siberia have to be quelled, lest the unrest spill over and Japan might get some refreshed imperial ambitions in the area. So securing Vladivostok is an important task, and for that we are committing imperial troops. While in the east, New England has fallen, and Mexico is under pressure but holding against American incursions.